For years, we have been made to believe that type 2 diabetes is chronic and irreversible because of the progressive burnout of the pancreas, causing the pancreas not to produce insulin. But what if I told you type 2 diabetes is not a life sentence? Just stay with me to the end of this video and we will break down the science behind reversing diabetes and what it takes to reclaim your health. Okay? When we talk about reversing type 2 diabetes, we do not mean an overnight cure, right? What we are actually talking about is remission. Remission is when your blood sugar level returns to a normal, healthy range that you can actually manage without being on medication. It's important to know that remission doesn't mean that diabetes is gone forever. No. Think of it like putting out a fire. If you stop managing your health, that fire may reignite. To understand how remission works, we need to quickly break down what's happening inside the body in type 2 diabetes. Insulin is a protein hormone that is produced by the beta cells of the pancreas to lower the blood glucose level. So normally, your body uses insulin to help move sugar from your blood into the cells for energy. Does that make sense? So it's like the lock and key paradigm. You are the cell here. You have insulin, you have glucose. The insulin fits like a lock in the key. It opens up your gates, so allowing sugar, glucose to move into the cell for energy, right? But in type 2 diabetes, your body becomes resistant to insulin. So here in insulin resistance, there is a problem. The insulin molecules are okay, receptors are okay, but something seems to be screwing up the key, preventing it from feeding into the lock. Inside the cell, there is no energy because glucose is powered outside the cell and we need glucose for energy. So glucose is powered outside the cell and where? In the bloodstream. So this now leads to internal starvation. This will lead to compensatory hyperinsulinemia, which drives glucose in. This is like what you see in type 1 diabetes. You don't have energy because insulin is needed to store glucose, right, for energy. So this person becomes thinner no matter how much food you give. The moment you give insulin, everything becomes okay. So this person becomes insulin dependent. In type 2 diabetes, it is not the same as internal starvation, where something is stopping insulin from going in. Here, it could be an overflow problem, meaning there is already more than enough insulin in the cell and the cell can no longer take in more insulin. So insulin is left outside the cell in the bloodstream, causing hyperinsulinemia. So you see, the problem is hyperinsulinemia, which causes insulin resistance as opposed to internal starvation that it was believed it was, which is lack of insulin. So you see why insulin can never work for type 2 diabetes. Good. Drop a comment if you have ever heard of insulin resistance. It's a critical part of this conversation. We're getting there. Over the years, the focus has been on something that leads to progression, which is giving more insulin, sulfonylurea, and low-fat diet. But it never helped. It only got worse. In type 2 diabetes, there's already an overflow of insulin. So giving more insulin will only make it worse. So for instance, it's like when people are moving into a train, the people here refers to the glucose and the train here refers to the cell. So people are moving into the train. Insulin will help to open the door so people, glucose can move in. When the train is filled up or it can no longer open, people can no longer go inside. So the key to reversing type 2 diabetes is tackling insulin resistance and restoring your body's ability to manage blood sugar effectively. So what is the cause of this insulin resistance? The answer is hyperinsulinemia. So if you want to reverse diabetes, you tackle the cause of insulin resistance. And there is good news. Research shows it is possible, right? So there is hope. All right, let's talk about the science. Can type 2 diabetes really be reversed? According to groundbreaking studies, yes, for many people, it's absolutely possible. Let's break down two of the most compelling pieces of research. All right, first up, the direct trial from UK. Here, researchers put over 300 people with type 2 diabetes on an intensive low-calorie diet for 3 to 5 months. The result? Remarkable. Over 46% of the participants achieved remission just after 1 year. What's even more impressive is that those who lost 10% or more of their body weight were twice as likely to go into remission. This shows that weight loss, especially losing visceral fat around your organs, is a game changer. Another fascinating study is the ongoing Vita Health study. Here, participants followed a very low carb, high fat ketogenic diet combined with coaching and medical support. After 1 year, over 60% of the participants reduced their A1C to a non-diabetic level, with many coming off medication completely. These studies prove that with the right approach, type 2 diabetes doesn't have to be a lifelong condition. Type 2 diabetes is a dietary disease and can be reversed by fixing the diet and not taking more drugs. Remember, it is hyperinsulinemia, and insulin is produced when we take in sugar, right? So the problem is hyperinsulinemia, and that's a dietary condition. So tell me, have you or someone you know ever tried a low carb or keto diet to manage your blood sugar? Let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear your experience. So now that we know type 2 diabetes is reversible, the next question is, how do you actually do it? In the next part, we will break down the most important steps that will help you achieve remission. Okay? All right. Now that we know type 2 diabetes is a dietary disease and can be reversed by fixing the diet, let's now break down the important steps that will help you get there. Okay, these are backed by science and used in clinical trials. But remember to consult your doctor before making major changes in your diet or medication. Step 1 is diet. Diet is the number one factor in reversing type 2 diabetes. Studies consistently show that low-fat, high-fiber diets reduce blood sugar level and insulin. Foods are composed of three macronutrients: protein, carbohydrate, and fat. Protein is amino acid, carbohydrate is sugar, and fat is fatty acid. So put less sugar in your body. Carbohydrates are sugar, so reduce its intake. Focus on foods like leafy green, non-starchy vegetables, lean protein, healthy fat, and berries. Try keeping your daily carbs intake under 50 grams for a few weeks to jumpstart insulin sensitivity. What's your go-to low-carb meal? Please drop it in the comment section so that someone else can try. Step 2, exercise. Get moving. Exercise is a game changer. It helps your muscle absorb glucose without needing insulin. So allow your body burn out excess glucose. Aim for 30 minutes of moderate activity most days of the week if you are not into intense workout. Even a 10-minute walk after meals can significantly lower your blood sugar. The next step, lose weight. Lose that visceral fat. Let it go. Losing 5 to 10% of your body weight can have a dramatic effect in reversing type 2 diabetes. The key is to target visceral fat. Focus on combining diet and strength training to burn fat and preserve muscle mass. This one often gets overlooked, but poor sleep and chronic stress wreak havoc on your blood sugar level. High cortisol or adrenaline level from stress can spike your blood sugar level. So finding ways to relax like deep breathing, meditation, yoga can make a big difference. What's your favorite way to wind down after a stressful day? Let us know in the comment section. Your tips might help someone else. Next step is monitor your blood glucose level. This will help you and your health care provider to monitor your progress. The last step is food journal. Just like you have personal journal, using a food journal will help you know which food spikes your blood glucose level. So please have a food journal. So those, my lovelies, are the important steps in achieving remission. Key note, type 2 diabetes is reversible. It is a disease of overflow. Root cause is lifestyle, is more of you than genetic. Symptom is hyperglycemia. Treat root cause and not the symptom. Insulin only puts away the glucose from the bloodstream, but it doesn't really take it out of the body. It only hides in the liver, and glucose in the liver will be converted to fat. So my lovelies, that is the end of this video. If you learned something new, please like this video and share it with someone who might need a little hope. See you on my next one. Bye.